Hello students, good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic of cybersecurity module 3, that is second part of access control. Let us begin. Access control, first part is denial of service attack. Denial of service attack in the sense, consider there is one server and there are different clients, and client access server for different types of information. Now consider that whatever information is available in the server, that is distributed to the client. But in that case, when client send a request to the server get engaged and tries to give response to the client. Now if it happens that instead of the capacity of there are different capacity of server, some server at a time accept 20 requests, some server at a time accept 40 requests, some server at a time requests 40 requests. So in that case, if the client number of client request is 100 and capacity is 60, in that case there is the server may go down due to number of requests increase. That is the purpose of denial of service attack. Means the reason is nothing to access the server, but still they are calling the server, that still they are requesting the server, and they are left off. The requesting the server left off, requesting the server left off, means they are not accessing anything from the server. Like we can say, in lab, when student access the login, they need to access username and password. If number of students only access username and password from the server, and if the username and password goes down, and if this part goes on increasing, then there is unnecessary burden on the server. That means server tries to respond the request and it may goes down because it is beyond the capacity of server. And that is the purpose of denial of service attack. Means sending request to the server beyond the capacity of the server, and in that case the server may go down, and so transaction may go down, so financial transaction may go down. So that case that may be dangerous. In that case, Flipkart, these things were happen a lot of years back to the Flipkart. Then these things were happening, and their server were going down due to this reason, and all financial transactions are diverted to the hackers, and that try to disturb the server. Means all the transaction goes down, and then one active server, passive server become active server of hackers, and they may do the transaction. So this is the part of denial of service attack. Okay. So what is that? The hacker denies a service to authorized user. It may also involve delaying time critical information by preventing a machine, a server, or entire network from responding to the user request. Hacker create this delay through resources exhaustion or available bandwidth. That means memory capacity. That means just I told you, the maximum available bandwidth is for server accepting request is for only 60 users, and 100 users are 100 users are accessing the server, that means the bandwidth is utilized 100%, more than 100%, so it will be very difficult to access the server and server may go down. That's what I am telling, multiple pin request, sending anything to server, handshake protocol. Now the another part is of access control is intrusion detection system. Intrusion detection system in the sense it might have noticed that there is online exam in the BCS lab. There is online exam in the BCS lab and some students, two students have same login. There is exam in the BCS lab, online exam, practical exam, and two students are accessing the same login and they are telling to the staff members, we don't know how we got the login. So the reason is that they don't know, they know it. They have done it purposely. That means one student and two students accessing the same login, they have purposely. So to remove such type of intrusion, hackers in the network, and to allow the proper use of network, we have to study intrusion detection. Intrusion in the sense the unauthorized access to the data. So in that case, these two students are using the same login and they are trying to access the data and they are telling to staff member that we don't know. So this thing should not happen. Intrusion detection types, it is broadly classified into two types based on parameter. Misuse of IDS, intrusion detection system. The system is constructed based on signature of all known attacks. Rules and signatures define abnormal and unsafe behavior. The analysis traffic from network and matches against known signature. The advantages of this model are easy creation of attack, signature, password, database, faster and easier implementation of IDS, and minimal uses of system resources. The main weakness of traditional and established rules, example normal man and robotic man. Now here we are telling that I am logging with the username password in the lab. You are logging with your username password in the lab. He is logging with the username and password in the lab. She is logging with the username password in the lab. But in that case, it might be that if my username and password is known to anybody, he can also log in my lab. So this thing should be avoided. That is called rule based signature. Means robotic man in the sense some unauthorized person can also log in my lab if he is getting the known username password. So that is normal man and robotic man. So it is very difficult to trace out in rule and signature based intrusion detection system, because if username and password is given to anyone, he can do anything. So these are the things that needs to be considered in rules and signature define abnormal and unsafe behavior. Anomaly, abnormal intrusion detection system, bandwidth attack, failed login, email user may send more mails. Now here what the hackers do, they send you mail continuously. They will send you mail continuously. Means regular day they will send 500 mails to you, and you go on deleting, but it will be time consuming, that you will not able to delete all the mails regularly, unwanted mails. But the hackers go on sending you mail unconditionally. So in that case, the inbox may go full and you may get disturbed. So that is the thing they want, and that's why they are trying to do such type of things, sending mails more than 500, 100, 200, 300 regularly, and trying to unnecessary disturb the your mailbox. That there are lot of mails which are unused mails, lot of unused mail, unknown mails. In that case, internet connection is same not increase. Students copy program from one user to another when they are familiar with the network. Now here we are going to see intrusion types, intrusion based detection, and next one is statistical anomaly detection and rule based detection. Statistical anomaly based detection in the sense threshold detection. Threshold detection means RAM is accessing mail in the lab, in the BCS lab regularly, or RAM is accessing internet regularly in the lab only for 2 hours, not more than that. But what is happening is that from today onwards, RAM is accessing mail 5 hours daily, 6 hours daily, then there might be some issue. There might be some issue, because any student who is accessing mail regularly 2 hours and suddenly he accessing mail for 5 hours or 6 hours, then something might be going, something might be wrong. So that is called threshold, means variation. And profile based detection. Profile based detection means username and password and these things. And rule based detection. Okay. Rule based in depend on specific rules. Profile based detection in the sense if anybody knows the admin username and password, he can log in as the username and password of admin, and he can do the transaction. He can access the server. So this is very ridiculous, because anybody knows the admin username and password, he can access the server, he can stop the server, he can stop the service. So this is called profile based detection. Means everyone is thinking that the authorized user is accessing the server, but here unauthorized user is accessing the server. Rule based detection means depending on particular rules in the sense with username and password. Username and password is there, then you can log in and then you can access the data. Threshold based detection and profile based detection. Sachin is accessing internet daily 2 hours, okay fine, but if person is showing he is a RAM means and unauthorized user showing as Sachin who is accessing internet 8 hours, then this is threshold based detection. Just I told you that a person who is accessing internet, student is accessing internet 2 hours daily, it is fine. But if a student is accessing internet more than 2 hours, that is 8 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, then it is something wrong. Then there is something wrong with the user. So that is called threshold based detection. Since there is lot of variation, that is threshold based detection. Now Sachin is accessing only educational website, but suddenly unauthorized user showing as Mohan access movies and songs website, it is called profile based detection. Means I am knowing that my students only access the educational website on the internet, but if my students are not accessing the educational website on the internet, they are watching movies and songs and listening to songs, that means there might be some problem. So that means there might be some unauthorized user access. So that is called That is called profile based detection. Because I know there are students are watching on the YouTube channel and this thing educational sites, okay, but but if they are watching movies and songs and video songs, and that means there might be problem with the authorized user. It then means there is an unauthorized user who is accessing the sites and utilizing the net. Rule based system involve the user to know the penetration that would exploit your weakness. Rule could be specific target to network, statistical anomaly detection. Rules are generated through historical audit. That means if TY students are accessing regular net in regular practical, it is fine. But if MSc students are accessing net regularly and someone is trying to download movies and videos strong, then there might be some restriction to there should be some restriction to the MSc students, because students of TY are accessing the internet regularly, but they are up to their limit. But MSc students are accessing the internet regularly, but some of them are downloading the video songs and movies from the internet. So then strict action should be taken. So that is called rules are generated through historical audit. I mean, depending on rules are generated for MSc student. Honeypot distributed intrusion detection. If you have Office, you have different types of system, Windows, Linux, you have different log format. We need to have IDS that is capable of accessing of records of different format. Records needs to be uniformly processed. Now suppose someone is using Linux operating system, someone is using Windows operating system, someone is using Mac OS operating system. So everyone is having different log files. Everyone is having different log files. Why log files are required? Log files are required because whoever who has accessed the server and what operation they have performed, if I want to know it, I can use the log files. Okay. So we have Office and we have different types of system and we have different log format. So the Linux might be having different log format, Windows might be having different log format, Mac OS might be having different log format. So we need to have intrusion detection system that is capable of accessing of records of different formats. Records need to be uniformly processed. Means someone might be using Windows operating system, someone might be using Linux operating system, someone might be using Mac OS operating system. Driven honeypot distribution intrusion system divert an attacker from accessing critical system, collect information about the attacker activity, encourage the attacker to stay on the system long enough for administrator to respond. So in that case I will give one example. Suppose modern college is having a web server and they need to protect the web server. So what modern college will do, they want to protect their web server because single day lot of students are accessing that web server. So they want to protect their web server from unauthorized access. So what they will do, they will have some dummy server and main server will be kept elsewhere, and they will have dummy server, and that dummy server, with the help of dummy server, they will know who tries to unauthorized access to the server and who tries to disturb the server, and they will found the attackers who are unauthorized person who are accessing the website, then they try to demolish the website. And these things can be find out by this technique, means keeping a dummy server and main server is kept somewhere else, and with the help of dummy server, the attackers will not know that which is dummy server and main server. They will think that dummy server is the main server, and they will try to attack do unauthorization, hacking something, and do unauthorized work something, and that will affect the, and that will be known to the organization or admin. So that is called honeypot distribution intrusion system. Honeypot intrusion detection. If there is a college, we have web server. Just now I told you, to prevent attack from hackers, create college dummy server to protect main server. Any organization will not expose original system, but hackers are using which kind of technique for hacking? They may replica of this. Replica doesn't contain confidential files. It is a system to attract the hackers. Since hackers don't do this in replica, they launch different types of attack. Since organization get idea from which IP address that attack is coming, and they will come to know soon, and they will catch the hacker. So that is a technique of honeypot distribution intrusion detection system. Host-based IDS. Host-based IDS means in your desktop system there might be some virus, there might be some attack on your desktop system. If your desktop contains if your desktop system contains bank details or different details, then it might happen that your desktop system may get hacked. So what to do? So in that case, we will have antivirus, and that antivirus will help to solve the issue. So in that case, host-based intrusion detection system is how to protect your desktop. Let us say intrusion is occurred or occurring. How to know attackers is attacking your system? Basically, packet passes through network. In host-based intrusion detection system, user data is obtained from the system, and in network-based intrusion detection system, user data is obtained from network. Network in the sense internet, your internet. You are doing online lectures on the internet, so that is a network intrusion detection system, and you are accessing your data from the desktop machine. That is host-based intrusion detection system. Host-based intrusion detection system are usually more compatible and adaptive system. Network intrusion detection system are less adaptable as it has deal with whole network. Host-based intrusion requires training as it's installed only one machine. Network intrusion detection system requires training as they are deployed at network level. Scan local machine, no bandwidth uses. Scan local machine, no bandwidth uses, because it is a desktop, and since it is a LAN, in college and schools and offices we are having LAN, and that case it also utilizes the bandwidth. So that is all about the network intrusion detection system. You can see in colleges and offices where LAN or metropolitan area network is there, and HIDS in your desktop machine. Network based intrusion detection system. Network is built using multiple hosts. Host refer to any device connected to network. It can be computer, router, switch. We have seen router and switch. It checks regular packet traveling through network. It will check the packet scan and then forward packet. If the hacking code found in a packet, it will send to administrator, and if any unauthorized access is there, it is sent to the administrator. So here in network based intrusion detection system, there is one security provided. Security, what in the sense, if now I know I know that student only access YouTube, Facebook and Gmail while entering in the lab. Student regularly access YouTube, then Gmail and Facebook only in the lab. I know it that. But if they are accessing different IP address, that should be noted. That should be noted. If they are accessing the movies and songs, that IP address should be noted, and that IP address should be blocked. And that is the job of the administrator. That is the job of the administrator in the network-based intrusion detection system. Host-based intrusion detection system, it will check computers. If a user access computer and device access, if any user access computer, any device access, if unauthorized access is there in computer, it checks the computer. Key functionalities of intrusion detection system: data collection. The module captures real-time data is in the system and passes it to the input to the intrusion detection system. The kind of data that is written to file for analysis depend on type of intrusion detection system, which is explained previously. It can be network-based IDS intrusion detection system, data packet it transmit and collect, and host-based IDS such as disk uses system process. Features selection: Internet Protocol address of source and target system protocol type. Header length means IP address, just I told you, IP address is noted and that IP address is blocked. Analysis: this module defines the method that is used for analyze data. One method is the rule-based IDS, which is coming traffic check against predefined signature. Means we see that regularly student access Facebook, Gmail and YouTube, and few days ago some students are accessing movies and song and this thing, and internet is utilizing the bandwidth more. So that means there is some wrong thing. There is some student that need to be find out. So these things are to be find out. Means traffic is check against the predefined signature or pattern. Another method is anomaly based IDS, where system behavior is studied and mathematical models are employed. Paid work. The module defines how system must react to possible attack in system. It can either inform system administrator with the required data through email, alarm, or it can play active part in system. A false negative error is one when IDS fail to raise an alarm in event of intrusion, since it classifies user behavior as a legitimate user or not. Legitimate means authorized user. Network intrusion detection system and prevention system. When you are trying to protect network, it is nice to have device that watch traffic is going in and out in your network, and that is nothing but the intrusion detection system. Now intrusion exploit against operating system application: buffer overflow, cross-site scripting, other and vulnerabilities. Detection versus prevention. Detection alarm or alert. Prevention stop it before it get into intrusion. Detection allows or deny based on particular rules. Buffer overflow. Okay. Identification based technology, signature based pattern, that in username and password. Depending on username password, allow the login or not. Look for perfect match. Anomaly based, build baseline of what happened. That means how students are accessing today and what students are accessing tomorrow in the lab. Behavior based, observe and report. Heuristic, use artificial intelligence to identify something that might be bad. So we need to find out which students are accessing internet for good purpose and which students are accessing internet for bad purpose. Buffer overflow in the sense underestimated size of buffer. Suppose 20% memory is there and programmer power data. You can send memory to correct buffer. You pour water outside glass, crashes the program or slow down the program or return bad data. If you open too many tabs in browser becomes unresponsive, it doesn't crash. Suppose you might be knowing or you may not be knowing or you might be knowing, when you open a YouTube, there is a line coming when you open the YouTube, and when that line reaches the another end, then only your YouTube going to start. If the line stop, then your YouTube stop. If the line moves, your YouTube moves. If your line stop, the YouTube stop. That line is very much important. That means that line is nothing but the bandwidth that required for the YouTube to play. If you open a new YouTube, then there is one line coming with that YouTube, and that line means memory available for that YouTube, bandwidth available for that YouTube, and that is called buffer overflow. Means if the bandwidth is available for YouTube, then the YouTube will open, otherwise YouTube will not open. You might observe that when you open a YouTube, there is one line that tells the bandwidth. And another example here, if you open it too many tabs in browser become unresponsive, but it doesn't crash. Means normally you open browser 4 or 5 tabs, but if you open 40 tabs, then browser may hang out. So because it is over memory. Okay. Thank you. So we have seen access control part of cybersecurity module 3, access control part 2. Thank you.